So can we please have our respected panelists up on stage? Harshita Maheshwari, CEO Care4Wear, founder London Dry Cleaners. Anushka Bhuyan, Strategy and Operations Manager at Zod. Sabina Siraj, Director, Favion Laundromat Private Limited. And Mrs. Anu Chadda, founder 3A Clothing Company, investor and strategic advisor. Can we please have a round of applause for all of them, the ladies?
A designer paints the runway. A manufacturer puts life into garment, and a cleaner preserves it. All three are really very important for keeping all of us keep looking good and create that impression out in the world, right? So here we are today, and I want to ask that first question uh, to you, Anushka. How do you currently decide what goes into a garment's wash care label? And before you answer this question, I'll just give you this one side story of what we dry cleaners face. Manufacturers create a lot of use textile for the garments, and designers use various different type of textiles into one garment. When it comes to us, the dry cleaners, we do not know how to treat. Majority we know, but there are new textile material which is coming in, and also the combination we are never sure. So we are totally dependent upon the labels. Now I am no one to say whether it suffice or not, but I want to understand from your perspective what goes into, from a garment manufacturer or designer perspective, what goes into creating that wash care label. Over to you.
Uh, First of all, thank you so much for calling us here. And this is one eye-opening experience for me coming from manufacturing background. This is completely out of our sight that we could have collaborated. This should have happened a long time back, but it's happening now. It's a great thing. Now, coming to the technicalities, the question which you asked me, for us, before this, I was discussing with Harshita and Sabina, sorry. We were discussing that in our company, what we do is we test the fabrics, then we also test our garments. Those tests, they are not as elaborative, which is needed for the dry cleaning, but the content of the fabric, the any other specific, the coloring, the dyeing, the color fastness, anything, those requirements, they do mention in the test. And based on that test, we do get to know what should go on the care facility of the fabric or the garment. It's mentioned in the garment testing, in the fabric testing category. We do mention those things in the labels which we are using. But that I am thinking, I think that is not really accurate enough, or it is not that helpful to our dry cleaner friends.
Anu, what will be your take on this question?
Hi. Good morning, everybody. And today it's a very, like Anushka said, it's a very relevant, very powerful session on the industry's working. So I would say is that, why the focus area of our conversation, will you just repeat that question?
How do you decide what to go on the wash care labels of the garments that you manufacture?
See, ideally, there's A, and what really happens is B. So if ideally, I'll tell you is that if it's a fiber or a fabric which is predominantly used in the industry, so what should be done is that the brand who's buying, the manufacturer, and the certification company together are hand in glove, because this is, let's say, it's a fiber or a textile or a product which is really, really predominant. So everybody has to be in sync on how this should be handled. Now, what really happens is that due to the constraint of orders, if the orders are not big enough, now since I belong to the export industry, suppose it's a order which is sizable, then we definitely work on finding out more from the certification companies that how will what will affect the longevity of the garment, what is going to that, the customers don't have any problems. So then the SUV, TGS, they come back to UV, they come back to us and they tell us that this is a wash care we recommend. But now this only happens for fabrics which are, predominantly used, and we have bigger orders. But if they're not big orders, then, generic thinking goes with it, that what we have to put, we put the wash care symbols, whatever, this should not be dry cleaned, they should go for cold wash, etc. So this is how it happens in the practical world of labeling.
थैंक यू. तो अभी हमने सुना गारमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर्स का कॉन्टेक्स्ट इन क्रिएटिंग दैट लेबल. अब एक बार जरा अपने ड्राई क्लीनर से समझते हैं, क्लीनर से समझते हैं. व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस? जब आपके पास एक गारमेंट आता है, व्हाट डू यू थिंक उसका लेबल पे आप कितना रिलाई करते हो और कितना इंफॉर्मेटिव होता है वो आपके लिए?
So the labels most times or sometimes are not very reliable for us because like we have the understanding of what needs to be dry cleaned, what needs to be laundered, what is good for wet washing. I don't think the designers and the manufacturers also understand that the same way. So and now we have very weird labels. We were recently discussing this, and I recently saw a label that said "cool iron." I'm yet to figure out what that even means. So, cool iron, or do not use detergent, and lots of things which don't make sense as to how do you clean the garment then, right? And the first thing we do is then observation, understand what fabric is, what the fabric is, how the color fastness is, do that process through our experience rather than relying on the care label, and then try to do spot treatments on the hidden areas, and that eventually ends up taking more time for us to figure out what actually needs to be done, and the entire turnaround time for that particular garment increases drastically. So that's the kind of challenge we face when we're looking at missing care or unclear care labels.
Sabina, what would your take?
I'd like to add on to what Harshita said. Before I go, thank you everyone for this particular opportunity and a venue for us to share our concerns with the origin of all the issues, I would say, because a fabric's life starts at the yarn and ends at the time when the consumer decides to throw it out. And we are going to be part of the same cycle. We are going to operate together to make sure that all the fabrics reaches its optimum life, and we will be helping in that. So here, as Harshita had mentioned, we cannot rely 100% on the wash care labels. Unfortunately, we rely more on our experience with similar fabrics in the future more than blindly trusting the wash care labels, because we have seen that a lot of times it's very generic, or it's something copy-pasted from previous fabrics that they have actually manufactured. And a lot of times they do not account for the mixture in fabrics. So we have had multiple examples of following, I'm talking about our initial stages when we followed the wash care labels to the dot and it did not work well. So now we do follow a lot based on our experiences, because there is a lot of standardization that need to happen. Especially wash care symbols are not standardized all over the world. It's not international standards, and it differs from different parts of the world. So there is a lot of ambiguity, unfortunately, and we really have to work together to get this sorted. Another thing that we see very often is any expensive garment gets labeled as dry clean only. And then the customer demands, why are you not dry cleaning this garment? And we all sort of know that that's not how it goes. Process depends on the kind of stain and the fabric, etc., not on if it's expensive or not. So yeah, that's another thing that I think we'll need to figure out how to address.
Sure. One interesting thing that I want to learn from you is, क्या आपको ये, so yeah, in general, we heard you, and I think the manufacturer also heard where is the gap. Can you share an example of a particular garment और उसके साथ क्या हुआ? Like, if it went well, if it did not, then what happened? What were the repercussions?
I think the examples are too many to list, but I'll go with one or two. We had this white jeans. It was off-white. I think it was Levi's brand. It came and it was one of our regular customers. And the moment we saw the leather patch on the hips with the brand name, the technician came and informed the manager that, sir, it won't survive the wash or the clean, whichever process, because the leather was not treated properly. And it was very low quality, the particular patch. Putting it any form of cleaning would have had some form of color bleeding into the off-white jeans. There was nothing else to do. What we did, one of our technicians removed the patch from the place, kept it aside, cleaned it, stitched it back into the exact same place, packed it, and gave it back to the customer. This has happened multiple times because we do not rely on their wash care labels to say what is going to happen with the accessories. They're not treated and the quality is not mentioned in that. I think. So this was just one of examples. Another time, we had a designer wear that came in, no wash care label. It came from a designer. And it had, I think, at least 3 different fabrics. And very obvious fact was that the lining used had a different color fastening procedure, which meant it would not survive any form, not even dry cleaning. It was that low quality. There was nothing else to do. So we had to tell the customer that there is a chance of this, and we took their approval and then processed. There was a slight color bleeding, but since we took the approval, the customer was okay with it. Multiple times. It happens a lot. Way more than that is commonly accepted. It does.
Right. And I see the bigger problem with this is it not just ruins the garment, but it ruins the reputation of the service
Very much,
provider.
yes.
It feels like, hey, you're not an expert. You don't know how to treat this. So maybe when I have a similar expensive garment, I may not trust you with that and I may go to someone else. I want to ask, yeah, go ahead.
I actually want to add one more incident where we had a heavy bridal lehenga that came to us. And I vividly remember it was a blue color net piece with 3D flowers on it with a cape. Both the lehenga and the cape has gone into the dry cleaning machine and it has come out, one looking different the other than the other. And it was a bridal 5 to 6, 7, whatever lakhs of rupees. How do you then pacify your customer? It is their bridal lehenga, and you've done the same process for both these items. How do you possibly justify it to a customer that we've done the same thing? It's reacted differently. The designer, it's now you versus the designer, the dry cleaner versus the designer. How do you address something like that? How do you sort of answer the customer कि हमने तो same ही किया था, अलग नहीं किया था treat. It was the same process. One was faster and the other wasn't. There was no way to absolutely fix it. So it was a big loss of reputation, a lot of money, lot of unnecessary hassle which happened for basically no fault of ours. It was just collateral damage. Yeah.
True.
So taking way too much of risk here, and that unfortunately it's very unfair. Like as a dry cleaner, as Harshita said, we are following the same SOP. Why should we be crucified for that kind of issue with the manufacturing or designing?
Absolutely. It's very unfortunate. Also unfortunate is we can't solve it here now. But moving on, what can be, so why the tags are not as descriptive now that you're hearing the story from us? Why the tags are not so descriptive? Is it because of the cost? Is it because of the technical knowledge gap between the makers? I don't know. Like, this is my question. I can't complete it. But why is there a gap? What is the cause for it?
See, the gap occurs is, like I said, that, there are so many diversified fabrics. Yeah. Now, since I have been in an export business, so I can tell you from that context, but definitely also I've been a consumer, so I can tell you as a another, just a person who gives my clothes for dry cleaning. So the gap, the gap occurs is because of so many different fabrics. And a lot of times, when you are looking at the compositions, even the dry cleaners ko bhi chakkar aa jata hoga, because it says, it says 40% viscose, 30% cotton, and 30% others. So now others means what? So that's a very, very difficult situation to be in. However, what I just thought to myself that, labeling is not to be taken very seriously, the wash care labeling. And you are right. You're from the, the young generation, you know that this is all, it's just made to sell the garment. And being from the industry, I can also tell you is a lot of times, suppose we have 30,000 pieces running and suddenly we are short of, let's say, 300 pieces. And the shipment has to go like in 3 hours, we have to just be there. So we just pick up labels and just put them. This is not the right thing to do, but I'm just being honest about it, that I've seen my staff do that. And so it's definitely difficult for the person who's on the other end taking care of the garment. So what can be done? What can be done about this is that we have to get rid of labels, and to get rid of labels would mean, what do you do? So you can take, QR codes now. That's the next thing which is happening. QR codes are going to be put on the clothing, and there are going to be digital labels. Now, with this, what's the good side is that now here the customer also has to, rev up their story, because when they go through the QR code and they see that, what these labels, what they're showing, they get the education of what these symbols are all about connected to their particular garment. So this would also help in for them to understand the risk prediction behind it, that whether if they get their garment, if they put their garment for a normal wash, what will happen? And so what should they do? Whether they should get it for dry cleaning, or what is the way to handle it? So the QR codes and the digital labels are coming into force more and more. They will be happening. It will take time, but this is something which will happen. And then this would lead to the customers getting knowledge from the site about what these symbols really mean. And this will help in risk prediction for the dry cleaner. So that's there. Plus, I think is that what do you guys feel, being from this industry, about AI coming in and helping you to maneuver the labeling side of it? Because you can also actually, if you have apps for this from AI, you can actually put your garment, you can scan your garment and it quickly shows what kind of procedures should be done. So that will help the industry in a very, very big way. And being a little bit connected to the AI side of a company where there are 100 people who are data analysts, I can see them taking care of these kind of procedures. So what do you think about it, that if you have an app where you can actually scan your fabric and know what exactly to go?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already come across some similar technology in the previous TechScare, where you use AI for artificial sorting of fabric based on their composition. So if it becomes mainstream, and if as a dry cleaner I have access to something like that, and it'll give me, okay, I can check, I just need to scan a particular piece of fabric, see what kind of patches are being used and the individual wash care labels.
This will be coming I hope. I'm not a AI person, as in like I don't develop or customize personally, and I'm also learning, just like you all, I'm also learning, but I can see this is coming because I'm connected to the AI company of which has a big data analyst team. And also I feel is that, the screening will show you the texture, etc., etc. And like we were just discussing before the show also, that sometimes the garments are made up of so many different fabrics that you said that and I really, really sympathize with that, because this is true. This is absolutely true. The same garment will have 3 different fabrics. So, but I'm sure with these kind of screening, if you have with AI, you'll be able to understand about a lot of ways of handling, what chemicals to use. Yeah.
2 very important points that you mentioned, and I would like to elaborate more on that. But yeah, let's hear it from Anushka on the same tagging.
Much. I very much connect with what Anu is saying right now. She has a lot of experience already in this field. And when Sabina, when you mentioned that Levi's brand, it connected with me many a times in our field. What happens is the brand tell us what should go in the label as well. It's not just us as manufacturers who are deciding based on the fabric which we have used, based on the garment, how it is made, but also the brand perhaps must have done their job in getting the readings and properly the doing the research and telling us. But we have many a times we don't even have the option of doing the research by ourselves. We have to put what the brand says us in the label. And I can clearly picture right now how it is affecting our customers, direct customers as in the direct public which are going to buy them, and our dry cleaner friends. And about what are the limitations? One limitation is that we can't really use what is necessary, adding to the label. Another is the size, right? There, in like Anu said, nowadays there are multiple fabrics, multiple kind of textiles coming together to form one particular garment, and each and every part, even one dress could have like 10 pieces of clothes, and you need that 10 descriptive answer for each and every part of that cloth to be washed. And for that you need a proper sizable length of that label, because in our cloths which are wearing, it's particularly of this inch, and it cannot suffice all the information coming into it. One solution was, like Anu said, the QR codes which are coming in. But then we also need to take care how much does the end user here being the person who is finally buying that cloth from the store, are they reading it? Because it cannot only come to the dry cleaners or to the brands or to the manufacturers that we have not put in the actual labels. Many a times it has been put up, but the right information, but the right approach to how to take care of a cloth is not with the customers, the end users of the country or internationally also. I think that is also one issue which you people face. We were also discussing together earlier that DLAI is trying to propagate these messages around us, and now we are also trying to collaborate. Manufacturers, brands, and dry cleaners, even the people those who are involved in yarns, all of us should come together to finally even tell the, like just before this we had a discussion on sustainability, right? Even we are all pushing sustainability, but are we actually doing it as consumers? Because even the costliest clothes, they are being only used once. They're only being used once. It's not just about how are we washing it, how are we keeping it. It's also about the idea that we don't want to use it more than once. It's just seen once. The people have seen me wearing this once. I don't want to use it. So I think for moving towards sustainability, towards taking better, one part is taking better care of the products, which requires these elaborative descriptions to the customers so that they take better care of it, as well as the industry leaders like us. We need to also take care that the consumer knows what has to be done properly.
I just wanted to add something here. So let's look at a use case, or just people who haven't actually used it, haven't seen any use case. Let me just share it with them that, the normal public, they are not well versed in symbols. So when you would have a QR code, and with your phone, you're able to open what that QR code is suggesting in terms of washing. So you can see that, one, it will be multilingual. In many different languages, you can read what it's saying. Then secondly, what it will show is the symbols, and with each symbol, it will show you what the symbol means, which is a very education, it's a good education for everybody. Third is for the dry cleaners, there's a disclaimer, because the dry cleaners ko wo kuch nahi keh sakte uske baad, because it's a disclaimer that this is this. If you have not used it that way, then it's going to be a problem. Yeah. And so for the longevity of the garment and for customer satisfaction, I think the QR codes are going to be a great way of leading the industry. And for for the dry cleaners, the scanning machines are going to be very good. There'll be chat bots, where the person can put their question in the app and they will have an immediate answer that what will happen if you just wash it. Because sometimes, you read it's dry cleaning and you just want to know, acha, wash kar denge to kya ho jayega? So when you put that question, it will immediately tell you ke kya ho jayega. So I think that will be a good two-way approach, both for the dry cleaner and for the people. So I think that's good.
Right. Thank you so much, Anu. And the 2 points that you mentioned, they're brilliant points. But I want to just get into one layer deeper into that. You mentioned about QR codes. So QR code is a technology which basically makes you access a longer format of the information just by one single click, right? The problem still remains that the information needs to be provided. So, and I'll tie it down with the second part as well. Yes, AI will solve a lot of problems. And for all the generic things which are there, AI will have all the information, it will have. But if one manufacturer picks up something and processes it in a certain way, right, which changes the inner side of it or DNA of the garment, I don't know what the right word is, then it doesn't remain generic. Then it may not come, in your general AI search. That is the information that a manufacturer will have of what have I done. Now it comes the responsibility of the manufacturer on how to put that information that, this particular garment has gone through this particular process and hence should be treated this way. So my question to you is, and this is complex, this is not easy, right? And I'm not putting the pressure, right? But I'm just trying to understand, is it even possible? The garment manufacturer, do you all have enough information of the processes and the chemicals and the textile of what goes into it? So by the purity of your heart, can you really put that into somewhere so that people can read? And we can't put the initiative on the customer. They are paying the manufacturers and they're paying the service provider to clean it. So they won't take any responsibility. It has to be shared between the creator and the manager who's maintaining it, right? So my question again is, short question, is it possible? Do you guys have all the information that you can put which is accessible through AI chatbots or QR codes which can be read by the cleaners? Over to you.
I would say we don't really have it yet. As earlier we discussed about our limitations mentioned, but definitely, like you said, we cannot always put the pressure on the consumer, right? With the customer, the only one solution which is collaboration between us as in manufacturers or brands with our dry cleaner friends. Only the partnership between us will solve this issue industry wide. Otherwise, we are always going to put all those information, the customer won't see it and the labels would not be right, and again we will end up in the bad position.
Yeah, and like Anushka said, it's a collaboration between the three, in fact, between four: the manufacturers, the brands, the dry cleaners, and most important is certification companies who actually tell you what the way the symbols should be made. So, but in the export industry, we would send a lot of our fabrics to SGS, to TUV, to tell us what is the composition, because the buyer would also ask us that, since you are the people who know the source of the fabric and you know exactly compositions, so you suggest to us what is it. But when the buyer tells you that, your responsibility increases. So that's how you used to run to TUV and SGS and ask what should be the wash care. So I guess this is a way the bigger quantities are handled, but I don't know about the smaller quantities how they would handle it, because all this is very expensive for each fabric to go to a TUV, SGS and ask them. But the way forward would be through AI, through screening the fabric, and from the dry cleaner it comes is that what should be the ideal way. So I think dry cleaners, if they would also have a bigger role to play if they have the apps to screen the fabric and understand that, how the wash care should be made. And instead of just the certification companies, I think more and more exporters and fabric makers should also involve the dry cleaners, that how these particular certain fabrics, what wash care symbols should be done. So it's going to be a huge collaborative effort. Looks difficult, but maybe there'll be ways of doing this. Yeah.
Lovely.
Add something?
Go ahead.
So actually, I think that change is already happening because we all know the designer Masaba. We all know the kind of clothes she makes, the foil, the foil embroidery or the foil print, and how difficult that is to clean. And I'm sure she was a regular customer, and she must have faced issues from her customers coming back to her, right? And for her latest collection, she actually it was very simple for her. She just reached out to us and told us, listen, can you, we're sending you patches of our next collection. Can you just test it out and tell me what sort of care symbol should be put on it? It was that simple. It doesn't need to be that complicated. I mean, just reach out to a good dry cleaner and ask them. They know. We know. So there's nothing, very difficult about it. Ask us, we can tell you, and those care labels can just go in your garments and make all our lives so much easier. I mean, that's my simple solution.
That's nice. I was reading, about this little anecdote. So there's this lady and she is going to get married, and she says, she goes to the dry cleaner and she says, this is my grandmother's sari and I want to wear this. Now, I don't know anything about wash care. I just want to wear this sari at a very big function. And you are going to be the people who are going to, maintain this legacy, maintain this emotion I have, this deep emotion of wearing my grandmother's sari. So I give it to you. And the dry cleaner felt, wow, she's trusting us, and they do it because that's the way. Certain legacies, certain emotions have to be safeguarded on fabrics, and dry cleaners are the best people at that point of time that you go to and say, how will you help me? So it's an amazing industry. And I also feel that a lot of times when we people go out for a good meeting, a very powerful meeting, and women are wearing a crisp, sari or a jacket, and we clinch a deal. Have we ever looked and thought about the dry cleaner who actually gave us that confidence? The dry cleaner gave that confidence to clinch the deal, to walk, and because you're feeling $100 million.
Well, that's a beautiful thought, Anu, and that's what we do. We don't wash garments; we take care of emotions. And so nice of you to have acknowledged that. You know how to win hearts. I have a question for everyone here. Have you ever wished, like I have wished, I just want to see, am I the only one here? Have you ever wished that by any chance, if a garment gets ruined through your process, is there a way to know how I can replicate it again? Or I know exactly how much did it cost it so I can get it done again. How many of you have felt that way? Yeah? Right. Very interesting conversation going on here. I want to open it for the public here. If you have any question or any thought to share, please go ahead and do that.
Hello, my name is Suresh Bhatia, and I'm going to tell you something very interesting. While all my dry cleaning friends have the same problem, which we have been talking here, DLAI, that is Dry Clean Laundry Association of India, here we are giving a DLA certified, what you call logos or holograms to our dry cleaners, saying that these dry cleaners are certified by DLAI as reputed and people who are using genuine methods and advanced technologies to adapt, and they know their business well. Now, we also want to extend our hand to garment manufacturers and to producers so that, we can help them test their fabrics, give them the reply and response so that appropriate labels can be applied and put on this. And this is why this initiative of bringing the garment manufacturers and the dry cleaning on the same platform. This is the purpose. This is what I just wanted to tell you. And if we have that, as just now Harshita said, that, if you could just give us the samples and we would give you what exactly the treatment has to be done. So similarly, DLAI is now certifying fabrics, twills, threads, buttons, so that you can come back and say, fine, this is certified, and now you can go ahead and produce it in the mass or even in the designer wear. That's about it.
Lovely. Thank you. Another thing which came out today, Sureshji, that we can take care of is like there is a standardization which is missing and the handshake is not proper.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there is any association. There is an association, no? So
Just now, like how DLAI is working towards these certifications. In our manufacturing industry also we have AEPC. This is a government association which is amongst all the manufacturing companies. I think a collaboration between DLAI and AEPC would be a great start towards this success.
lovely. Does anyone have any other question? Go ahead, Chirag.
Well, I was just coming to understanding. All this conversation is happening about passing on, or rather, speaking of who's accountable, right? Because ultimately, as you said, the customer is the one who's paying, both the service provider as well as the manufacturer. And when that payment is higher, if you're buying a Hermes or you're buying an LV, and there are a lot of cases. Even I have a lot of descriptive cases to speak about. We very well spoke about having one organization that can bridge this gap, and we can have this thing. Is there some sort of a manufacturer's compliance that holds accountability towards manufacturer or towards the brand that makes them, because see, this instruction, the care label is an instruction manual, right? It's essentially making you realize that someone has to do that job. And is he accountable? Is the brand accountable? Is the manufacturer accountable, or what? I can understand the pain points of the smaller orders and everything, but is there a compliance requirement by manufacturers or by brands to say that they have to be carrying the care label, or they have to be accountable for something that goes wrong with the garment?
Yes, definitely. I mean, when I tell you that there are bigger quantities and we make sure that, the fabric goes to SGS or TUV to accredit that the wash care labels which we are suggesting, are they okay or not okay?
Okay.
So that compliancy has to happen when you're working on big orders. I was just saying, is a constraint comes is when the orders are small, then how do you go through all that?
So
And those are also customers only,
True.
End of the day, they are as big as the biggest orders. So that is an area which has to be
So the dilemma springing out of that, and I'll not take too much time, is a quick one that I understand. The smaller the order, the more bespoke it is, right? The more specific it is. Now, if I speak about a Manish Malhotra, or there are a lot of other designers, right? I don't want to name them because I have faced a designer who is probably made this one piece for a wedding, right? Now, that's not a manufacturing process. It's an artisanal process. It is an art piece. It's something like making a canvas painting, right? If that compliance is applying only to the mass, then we are talking about the cheaper it is, the more compliant it is. The more expensive it is not compliant. So if I can buy a 6 lakh rupee car and have a service center take care of it, how do we figure out a solution to having a 6 lakh rupee garment and have a service center who knows how to do it and still not be blamed for it? Right? So we need to figure out how we put that accountability somewhere, and this has to be a seamless process. So it solves your problem of having smaller orders and solves the problem of the customer as well as the dry cleaner. So that is what
I'm sorry because I think I didn't I didn't put it properly. Maybe you didn't understand. When I say small orders, I mean, the bigger orders, let's say it's 30,000 pieces of a garment, of a polyester garment, let's say. Huh?
True.
Or a polyester with some viscose, with some XYZ in it, So then we have to be very sure that, the compliancy we tick mark that, this has been tested. What I meant was that, in the industry I work in, so smaller orders would be the same fabric, the same things, but it's just 100 pieces, So then there you don't kind of...
So you mean to say the different batch of the same order, or...
no, until another buyer
Okay.
just wants 100 pieces.
Okay.
They're not even asking us for the compliancy, a certificate of that. But we as that's where I tell you that these mistakes can happen. Yeah, because you're not checking. So you're just relying on what the buyer is saying and what you think is right, and you just make your wash care and you just put it there and let it go. That's
Okay.
But now when you talk of some expensive garment which a designer is making, it's costing thousands or lakhs of rupees, of course they will check. I mean, it's all about money. You need to just check.
They
It's not a
don't
very
check,
big
yeah, so
deal.
they don't.
Yeah. It's not a very big deal. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's something that we always realize that they don't check.
Hmm.
My suggestion to this entire panel here is that, of course, we're not trying to push the blame to the manufacturers or however it is. Having this, what came out of our discussion was we could have a collaborative effort from two agencies, maybe a DLAI and another agency. But then the very important part is to educate the buyer to how we actually make them realize that this is the accredited truth of a professional job that can be done on this garment, whether it be a small batch, a big batch, or an individual piece that is being manufactured. And that education is very important because that is the place where we can actually solve it. By coming together and making a solution or a label will not probably help. The customer has to know that, like how we see a lot of labels carrying go to a professional dry cleaner for the cleaning of this garment. Instead of that, it could be go to a XYZ certified dry cleaner for doing this. That would actually make the most impact in education. So I don't know if you agree with me, but that's my suggestion.
So Rajali, I guess that will happen also, na? Because when you have the QR codes and the digital labels, so when you with your phone you are scanning it, so it'll start showing there. So that's a very big disclaimer.
Which is, yes,
It saves the dry cleaner from
yes,
a lot
this is
of.
a long discussion.
I want to add on to what he said. So we were previously talking about green and sustainability, but we were concentrating more on the cleaning aspect of sustainability. I think it should start from the stage of manufacturing. So here we have a crucial link that's missing, that is the designers also, not just the manufacturers. We have bespoke designers who charge lakhs for individual pieces. And a lot of times those pieces are not meant to be reworn. So you're talking about lakhs of rupees for a single purpose. You wear it and they'll probably bring it to the dry cleaner. They'll have maybe hundreds of different accessories mixed into it. I'm not talking just about fabrics. I'm talking about accessories like pearls and beads and leather and plastic and 100 different items into one single designer garment. And when it comes to a dry cleaner, we really have very limited knowledge on how to process it. And when we don't have it, what happens to the customer is they decide, might as well just leave it here. I'm not going to reuse it. And that pushes, again, we are pushing back the reuse part of recycling. Maintaining a very standard process of manufacturing, designing, and clear-cut wash labels that goes from the customer and again to the dry cleaner will ensure the life of a particular garment, ensure less garments end up in landfill, ensure that this particular cycle of fabric is longer. And I don't think we have given enough validity to the fact that even a designer who designs clothes, I'm not taking away from the artistic freedom, I'm saying the sustainability part, the cleaning part of this particular designer wear should be a consideration. And I'm not sure it is a consideration for a lot of factors. As Harshita mentioned, when I heard about Masaba, I was surprised because I don't know if there are other branded designers who actually bother to do it. It's an extra effort. Even if we are willing to help them, it takes extra time, effort, and I don't know how many designers, despite the price range that they charge, are willing to do that. I think having that particular culture embedded into designing itself would be much more helpful.
I just wanted to add a certain thing. Like, sir, you said there needs to be a compliance factor, right? The compliance should not come from, because nowadays it is coming from the brand. For us, it is coming from the brand, what they require, if their quality standards and compliances are matching with our manufacturers or not. But rather, the compliance factor should come from an organization like Ministry of Textiles or a commerce body where everyone in this industry is linked and we are following the same SOP towards one certain thing, which is longevity or sustainability. And regarding the wash care labels, if that is a part of it, from the brand to the designer, then again to the manufacturer, then going it to the dry cleaners. It'll help this to, because there should be one body who is actually looking over all these processes if the compliance is made or not. Because right now it's still an optional part. It is not universal. It's rather based on one part, if one party needs it or not, and the other party will do it or not.
Wow, this has been so enriching. Just to conclude on this, right now we know that there are no such standard protocols which can make our lives easier. And of course, for the compliance and all, there's a huge, government body need to come in picture, and there has to be a collaboration between the two industries, which industry bodies can bring. But till we reach there, I think it's the consciousness of every individual in passing on the information, and for the dry cleaners as well, that consciousness of examining the garment first and making it clear, while we continue to request the manufacturers to keep giving us more and more information that will help us, manage this ecosystem really well. So in a very short span of time, I want each one of you to do your closing remarks. For the manufacturers, I want you to give us one tip individually on what can we do to ensure the longevity of the garment. And please don't tell us wash less, because that's our bread and butter, right? And to the dry cleaners, what would be your request that you want them to go with, so that next time when they make or manufacture a garment, they remember you? So who wants to start? Harshada, do you want to start from here?
One request would be for you to look at us like your partners in this, where we're finally serving the same customer. So we need to collaborate together and think of us before you're making a garment. It won't take a lot. I'm sure a lot of dry cleaners and launderers will help you out in figuring out what the best way. So yeah,
That is,
we are working towards the same thing. We just need to remember that.
completely reciprocate with you. That was also my idea, that after this, at least I am going to push towards collaborating with dry cleaners and perhaps the DLAI association to get a better and more descriptive approach towards the cleaning part.
So, customer satisfaction is the goal. And I always say that, in fact, at home, I say to my family, to my mother, that, it's better to get so and so clothes dry cleaned than to wash, because washing would reduce the life of the garment and also pollutes the water, etc. And the sheen of the garment, I feel, just kind of goes away. And the longevity of the garment increases by, I think, almost 30%, if I'm not mistaken, if you dry clean it. And you don't have to dry clean it so much, but the longevity increases. It looks better. Has more sheen. So as a manufacturer, so I would say that to be more careful. And, with every kind of event we have like this, we go back with a personal sense of responsibility that I'm going to do better on my wash cares. I'm going to, check more on this and not just treat it like something which we have to put in the garment. Although we are a compliant company, and like I told you, that for substantial orders, we have to really take care that our certification goes hand in glove when we are exporting, and we are furnishing the data to the buyer. But even for the smaller quantities, we have to be careful, because at the end of the day, the customer is customer. That is the most important thing. So I think these collaborative efforts come more in the front when we do these kind of sessions, and you walk with that further responsibility of making a better decision on your wash cares. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. So this was your first interaction with the dry cleaning industry. Did you guys have fun? Yeah, you did?
Yes.
Did you guys have fun?
Very interesting.
नहीं, energy level नहीं है. Did you guys had fun today? All right. Thank you so much. We're signing off here.